All right, we are back here on our VirginiaPreps.com Zoomcast. Matt Hatfield here with you, and we are joined by a special guest. He is from the Northern Virginia area, Madison High School, the defending Region 6D champion Warhawks, who have gotten a couple of nice victories this season, though they came up short against the defending Class 5 state champion Stonebridge Bulldogs in their opener. They bounced back with a 49-21 win over Lake Braddock, where this guy had a highlight reel play as well as a 41-0 shutout of Yorktown, first shutout in that series in quite some time. He was a second team all-district offensive all-purpose player, I believe, second team all-district all-purpose player, second team defensive back, honorable mention kick returner. He's got a lot of accolades. He's getting some recruiting attention. We say hello to John Hurley. John, how's life treating you?
Life's been pretty good. We had a bye week this past week, so I've just been taking my time off, watching film, lifting, normal stuff.
Okay. I get the accolades right. Did I hit the second to all the district things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, bye week, how do you spend, you sort of hit on it, watching film, lifting. How do you spend your bye week in terms of, I mean, you hit on a little bit of what you do, but Friday nights, are you watching games? Are you just chilling, not really watching much football? How do you spend the time when you're not playing a game?
It's weird not having anything to do on a Friday with football, but we just had a practice. We had a normal practice, just like 2 hours or hour and 30. And then after that, I'm actually a ref. I started reffing Little League games. So I reffed one of the games at Waters Field in Vienna, Virginia. It's pretty fun. And then I also I just kept track and tried to look at the recent high school scores of teams that we are going to play in this upcoming season.
Now, you said you're doing some officiating as sort of a side gig, or is this something you want to do beyond your football playing career? A, and B, which sport are you officiating? Is it football, basketball, or neither one?
It's football. Football is my favorite sport. I just like watching it. Any level is fun. And officiating, it's just opened up new things as a player that I can learn what referees look for in games for flags and anything like that.
Yeah, you can get on them if they miss a call on another team, right?
Yeah, of course.
Say, I've done this. This isn't that hard. Let's talk about you as a football player, because you're getting some attention, and we'll go through some of the schools looking at you. You had a 96-yard kickoff return for a score, I believe it was, against Lake Braddock second half.
That's right.
What is it you're hearing from, be it your high school coaches, college coaches, and recruiters set you apart? And what do you think you excel at most on the football field? Because you are kind of an all-purpose player. Offense, defense, and special teams is a big deal as well.
I guess my most important trait as a prospect is just my intelligence or my football knowledge. I've been playing football since I was like 7 or something. It's like my 10th or 11th year playing football. I just know how the game runs, and watching film and stuff. It just certain formations. I play mainly safety, but I also go in on receiver when I need to. And it just allows me to read the offense, the formations, the route concepts, and what they tend to do on certain downs and distances.
Now, certainly that football savvy and IQ that you mentioned is an asset for you as you move on to the next level. What is it the schools are telling you they think you fit in best position-wise, and what do you want to play at the next level in terms of position for college football?
That one's a tough one. Position-wise, I just want to play football in college. I'm not sure if I want to play receiver or defensive back right now, but there's some schools that are recruiting me as a receiver, and there's some that are recruiting me as a defensive back, like safety or free safety, strong safety, or corner.
Mm-hmm. Which one comes more natural to you? Because you do have, if I'm reading it right, 4.4 40 speed, and we know about your grades in the classroom. You're hovering right around a 4.0, I think a 3.97 GPA. With that speed and that smarts, what's more natural for you? Is it the offensive side of the ball or defensive side of the ball?
See, growing up, I was a running back. So switching to safety was new. I switched to safety my junior year, but I've always played safety too when I was growing up. It wasn't my main focus, but my junior year, I really started to focus on safety and learning what to do and listening to my DB coaches at my school and trying to get help from coaches at college camps over the summer to really perfect my craft at DB. So I've been playing a lot more DB, and I'm just started to get used to it. I guess I have fun hitting people and just interceptions and catching the ball. It's fun.
It's funny. I spoke with another athlete who just recently made a college commitment from Riverbend, Aiden Fisher, linebacker, and he plays some offense. So he's like, I just like hitting people. I think that's
Yeah.
something that college is probably like hearing that as well. And you play at a school where coach counts. Defense is a big deal. You've had some great defensive battles over the years. We think of those Concord matchups, the Centervilles, the Westfields. And even though you guys graduated 6 seniors, I think it was, from last year's team that won the regional championship and was right there with South County to get to the state finals, your defense is strong again. What is it the coaches – how are they able to put you guys in position to be one of the top defenses year in and year out, both regionally and statewide?
So our defensive coordinator, Ray, he has a saying called DYJ. It stands for do your job. Basically, everybody on the field has their own position and they're told what to do and watch their keys. And as long as everybody watches their own keys, the whole team has success will just work together. And he also preaches that we always have to have 100% effort and we're always looking towards the next play. And if anything bad happens, just forget about it. Get ready for the next play.
We know folks are going to be focusing on some of those bigger games down the road with Centerville and Westfield and South Lakes and Chantilly, but you got Langley, I believe it is, up next, right?
Yes, sir. We got Langley this Friday.
Yep, on the road, and your next home game isn't until October 8th, if I see it right, against Oakton. But if someone's going to check out some Madison football in person or on the stream, they're going to watch you guys. We'll talk more about you in a second, but give some of your teammates some shout outs, offensively, defensively. Who are some other guys they should watch out for making plays the rest of this way for you guys?
Yes, sir. So I'm going to start with the defensive side first. We have a really good DN. His name's Kyle Porter. He's about like 6'2", I'd say like 260 or 250. He's strong and he's really smart. He always contains the edge and just really loves to hit. Our next player is Ryan Samosa. He's an inside linebacker. He basically is at the ball on every single snap. In the Chantilly game last year, I think he literally was in on like 60% or more tackles. And then he was not a new player. Our old inside linebacker, Austin Wysocki, he moved to strong safety this year. So he started focusing on DB, but he can definitely still hit. That's why we have him at strong safety.
Mm-hmm. And on the offensive side of the ball, you guys were fortunate to bring back both your starting quarterback and your running back in Connor Berry at quarterback and Alex. Dear God, help me with that last name. I know it's spelled like J-R-E.
Yeah, you pronounce it Dredge.
Dredge. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I probably butchered it 18 times at least. So, but those two guys, I mean, I think it works hand in hand, does it not? When you have the defense being as stout as it is, and then offensively, those guys take pressure off the other guys on the other side of the ball when you have experienced playmakers there.
Of course. As in the Yorktown game, we got off to a slow start. The offense and on one of the punts, we had 3 fumbles in the first quarter, and the defense, we just stuck out there, we kept Yorktown to 0 points, and we just let our offense know that we had their back. And then soon, I think it was after the first quarter, I think at the end of the second quarter is like 21-0, and we just knew that we would always be there for each other. Because at the end of the day, even in practice, our coach always says we work hard to make each other better in practice, but at the end of the day, we're always playing together on Fridays.
Now, I believe you had, was it 3 interceptions and a touchdown last year on defense?
Yes, sir. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Yeah.
Did you have any, I know it's all about the team first, getting the W, it doesn't matter about the numbers, but did you have any goals or individual accomplishments in mind going into this senior campaign for yourself?
I don't know. I guess one of my goals is just to have a good highlight every game, like either a touchdown or kick return or punt return or interception or something like that. That is just my goal, to just make plays every game, just make sure I'm noticed by other people.
Now, being the student of the game that I'm sure you are, you watch a lot of football, be it college football, pro football, Saturdays and Sundays. So give me real quickly, since we're recording this on a Sunday night before Ravens and Chiefs, give me a little quick synopsis, A, of week 2 NFL, and B, who are the guys you like to watch, pro, college, be it current, past, that you like to watch highlights of and maybe emulate and do some things on the field like them?
So week 2, my team is the Redskins, or the Washington football team. They had a nice win over the Giants on Thursday night. That was crazy. The field goal, they called the guy offsides on the Giants, and then they got to reattempt, and Hopkins drilled it in. And then I was just watching the Seattle and the Titans game, and that came down to the wire too.
Crazy game, yeah.
Yeah, the Titans, they're able to hold on Russell Wilson back on behind their own 20. I think they're on like the 1 yard line. And then I guess they punted it and Derrick Henry just ran it into like the 10 yard line and got an easy field goal to win in overtime. And then my favorite level of football is to watch is the pro. I just love the NFL. Growing up, I always watched, my uncle showed me Deion Sanders highlights. I always loved Deion Sanders, Jim Brown. I love Jim Brown. My favorite receiver right now in the league is probably Julio Jones. He's always been my favorite receiver growing up. I've always thought he's the best one I've got to grow up and watch. He's starting to get older, but I still think he's good enough. I think he's like top 3 in the league. He's just he's good at every aspect of a receiver. He has hands, strength, speed, size, everything.
Yeah, for sure. Classy receiver, much like one of my favorites in Larry Fitzgerald. And unfortunately, the guy's not in a ring yet. I think Fitzgerald might be done playing, but I'm sure that you're really glad you don't have to tackle a guy like Derrick Henry because that guy is a load.
Yeah, of course. That dude is, what's he, like 6'3", 240 or 250? Yeah. He's literally just a DN playing running back.
For sure. Well, we might throw in a question about maybe someone you had to play in rapid fire here in a bit. But before we get to that, let's talk some recruiting with you because you've gotten some attention from, if I'm not mistaken, Davidson. They may have offered you already, and Dartmouth is looking at you to give us sort of an update on how things look on the recruiting front.
Recruiting so far, I'm just keeping it open at the moment, just seeing which schools I can get interested. And I recently started to schedule visits that I'd be going to watch game days over the weekends.
Okay. You able to fill us in on some of those visits that have already been lined up, or where you going to check out some schools?
I'm for sure looking to go to a Davidson and Dartmouth games because they've offered me first, and I really like both of those schools. They've all of the coaches from both of those schools have been really nice to me, and they've always kept. They're always trying to talk to me every week.
What do you look for in a school? Is it about playing time? Is it about how they use you? The academic piece has to have some kind of factor, I'm sure. What are the things, and how do you weigh those different factors and distinguish between a Davidson and a Dartmouth or any other schools that get in the picture?
The number one priority for me is just the good academic schools. I'd like to go to a school that's really high academics, and I'd also like to play football at a high level. So any Ivy Leagues or Davidson's a perfect school. Both of them are really high academics and both really good football teams. And I also like teams that the coaches are just open with you and like they plan to talk with you and always try to talk with you every week and just keep it open 100%.
Good deal. You know what you want to study or major in for college?
I'm looking at business or computer science or one of those.
Good deal. And lastly here, before we do the rapid fire and let you run, give me a thought on the rest of the season and you guys being a contender here in Class 6. You had some, good battles already. I think it's going to harden you for the playoff run here and there are more to come. And we know everybody's sort of chasing the defending champion, Oscar Smith, who just lost a tough one here down in Tidewater to a nationally ranked team from California. But I think Northern Virginia's got a lot of depth to it this year. And some of the teams, I'm seeing some teams that are surprising already, like a Robinson. Osborne was making some noise. So I feel like there's, much like you guys in a sense, you weren't really new on the scene last year, but as some that don't follow it closely, they'll be like, oh, where'd they kind of come from? So it should be shaping up for an interesting playoff run. And I imagine you guys plan on being back right in that mix.
Yes, sir. So our next few opponents are basically our Concord District, Oakton, Southlake, Centerville, Chantilly, Westfield. Those are our main opponents that we're looking forward to. And we really have to be sharp before those games so we can just be at the top of our division or conference. We already know Chantilly is going to be good. Centerville is going to be good. Westfield is going to be good. All those teams are always good. The Chantilly game against Robinson, it just shows some weaknesses Chantilly has, but we definitely know they're still a really good team because we played them last year and both games came literally down to the last two plays or the last play of the games. And Centerville, they're always a really good team and they have a lot of athletes and we just have to, we're not as athletic compared to them, but we have, we just try and use our smarts and just remember their formations and their certain plays and our toughness that we try and use against them.
It's funny. I think people sometimes get, air their grievances and complain about how the VHSL football is 6 different divisions. They don't like, they want to go back the old way. But regardless of where you are, whether it's in Northern Virginia, where you guys have just great pageantry and passion from the fans, and there's a quality player every team. I mean, you mentioned Chantilly, who's coming off an L, but they got a guy going to Notre Dame on defense, and Aiden Gabira.
Yeah.
There's players everywhere, be it Virginia Beach, Fredericksburg, Richmond, Southwest Virginia. There's a guy or guys on every team that you have to be ready for an alert. And I think it's neat to see fans back in the stands after last year with COVID and everything. And I know that had to be a real downer for you guys as players, because it had to feel like, to me, even just covering the games, like, man, it didn't have the same zest to it. And it's not all the way there, but we're getting closer to back to normalcy.
Yeah, of course. It's it was weird. The first game back after COVID, just our first home game this season, it's like it was eye-opening because I don't remember having a crowd in our games. It just used to be like parents the whole spring. Even in our state semis versus South County, is just like everyone's parents and maybe like a few other classmates, but that was it. Really wasn't that much of a crowd. Yeah,
definitely good to see it get back to where we were pre-COVID at the start of 2020, and hopefully everybody stays safe as we get ready for the stretch run there in November. All right, John, thank you so much. Before we let you run, ready to play some rapid fire with us? The real hard-hitting, tough questions now. All right, it's going to make you think here with John Hurley, the three-phase playmaker from Madison High School with the Warhawks. All right, want to know the favorite TV show for you. What's your favorite go-to TV show?
Ooh. Family Guy. Family Guy.
There you go. You got a favorite character?
It's either Brian or Stewie or Peter. One of those three. Yeah. I'd probably go with Stewie. He's pretty fun. Yeah.
All right. Best movie you've seen in the last year?
Ooh, in the last year. Shoot. Was it the new Insidious movie or the newest Conjuring movie just came out and it's pretty good? I'm not sure what it's called. I forgot which one it was. But it's a newer horror movie. It's actually pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm more of a comedy than a scary guy movie. And you didn't give me Space Jam 2, which I think would have got a lot of boos and stuff.
Yeah. Also, I watched Uncut Gems in the past year. I think it was pretty good.
Oh, that is a good one. One of my favorite sportscasters, Mike Francesa, has a cameo in that. Although you got to keep the little kids away because it has some very interesting, colorful language with Adam Sandler and Kevin Garnett and people in that movie. All right, let me know, what is, besides playing at Madison, what is your favorite place to play a high school football game at? I guess it would have to be on the road then. What's your favorite place to go on the road?
Ooh, I guess Westfield or Oakton, because those have been our biggest rivals in the past 5-10 years. It's just really fun because they always have a big crowd in there. They're always yelling because they just hate us so much. And we hate them probably equally as much or more.
No love lost. All right. Who's been the most challenging or difficult, I guess you can say, individual to go up against in your high school career? Another team, who's been the best guy you've had to go up against in your high school career?
It was probably Brock Spalding. He was in that state semi game. He had some ridiculous catches on some of our secondary. He has incredible hands. He literally catches any ball.
Yeah, for sure. East Carolina's getting a good one in him. All right, hot or cold?
Oh, cold.
All right, I'm with you on that. Fast or slow?
Fast.
Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade.
Cookies or ice cream?
Ice cream.
All right. Toughest subject in school?
English.
All right. Last two. Rock, paper, scissors, or tic-tac-toe?
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right. And then what is the one item you can't live without?
I guess my phone.
Pretty much a standard answer.
Yeah.
That is one. John Hurley, senior, Madison High School, all district candidate, probably all region and all state level performer, as well as the Warhawks going on another quest for a regional championship, and who knows, maybe more in their future. Thank you so much. Best wishes to you the rest of your high school career and beyond at the next level, and I will certainly keep in touch.
All right. Thank you. You too.